The Labour Party has filed a lawsuit against 6 lawmakers who defected to the All Progressives Congress APC, seeking to declare their seats vacant and recover all salaries and allowances received since their defection. According to the Labour Party's National Publicity Secretary, Efe, the defecting lawmakers are birds of a feather who had planned to abandon the party's mandate. Efe emphasized that the law does not protect individuals who defect without surrendering their mandate. The Labour Party has also criticized the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, for failing to declare the seats of the defected lawmakers vacant as required by the Constitution. Now, in a related development, the governorship candidate of the Labour Party in Bayelsa State, Udengs Eradiri, and his running mate, Commodore Benjamin Nathos, have resigned from the party, citing the need for a platform that can provide better leadership for the state. Well, the Labour Party is not alone. You also have members of the PDP, that's the People's Democratic Party, who have also moved or defected in droves, moving to the All Progressives Congress. This has sparked a wide conversation asking why political party members are abandoning ship or leaving their political parties and moving to where it seems like it's rosy. Well, like our guest who just left said, it seems like honey. Maybe the bees are flying to ensure that they also get a taste of the honey. How true is that? Well, joining me today is a former member, Delta State House of Assembly, also elected, it was elected 2011 to 2015. Well, he is also a former special advisor to the governor, Okowa of Delta State, 2019 to 2021, and a former governorship aspirant, founder, Delta Democratic Front, and also a grassroots politician. I do have with me here in the studio, Honorable Efe Ofobruku. Thank you so much for being here and taking your time to join us. This conversation is one everybody seems to be talking about, the defection. I can see you're wearing a face cap that reads APC, All Progressives Congress.
Yes.
And I remember that before you were a member of the PDP.
Of course.
What changed? And why the sudden, or why the defection?
Okay, well, I think I should be able to talk about myself and what is happening around as it relates to partisan politics in Delta State. The truth of the matter is that when the kitchen is too hot, you have to get out of it. That's the truth. But let me start with the PDP. You have the PDP of Delta State as a party where people are falling off the ship and drowning in the political sea. I don't think there's anybody who wants to be in a political ship that wants to fall off and drown. So when you discover that there's the likelihood of you falling off and drowning, it's just proper that you exit and go to a safer ground. Apart from that, what is happening in Delta today is what we call a political tsunami. You know, if you give a man a job, you can't help the man do the job. Those who fought against us that helped the present administration Delta State to get the job, they have now discovered that the man is incompetent. He does not have the capacity to do the job. And the bad performance is rubbing on all of them. So to that extent, it is better they begin to migrate to a better platform where they can have opportunity of selecting a proper and a right candidate to govern the affairs of the state. If you have to look at the economic indices in Delta State today, it's a disaster. Though they claim that they have created jobs in certain areas, I will address all of that. But primarily, you know that the most disorganized political party today in Nigeria is the PDP. Next to that is the Labour Party. So when I hear you say that Labour Party is going to court, I'm asking myself, which of the Labour parties? Is it the Abure Labour Party or the Nenadi Usman Labour Party? Because today, we have the former Labour Party on whose platform Mr. Peter Obi ran for president, and the Peter Obi Labour Party that has Nenadi Usman as acting national chairman. So you're asking yourself, who among the two is going to court? So which is the authentic Labour Party? So if you ask me, it's just a sheer waste of time. Then coming back to PDP, of course, you know that PDP is already dead on arrival. It's completely scattered. It is completely scattered. And if you find yourself in a party where you are putting in so much, you are doing your best, but the party is determined to ruin you, it's just proper that you move. For those of us who used to be in the PDP, who are today in the APC, we see PDP as our Egypt. I personally left Egypt 2 years ago, and many more are still living in Egypt. At the moment, in each federal constituency, for instance, anybody who calls himself a PDP member, take it from me. You can put it on record. It's just a pretender. There is no PDP in Ethio Federal constituency anymore. If there's any PDP at all, it should be the local government chairman in both Ethiopia's local government and Ethiopia's local government and the 20 councillors of each of the councils. The other people who call themselves PDP members today are all pretenders. They are all APC, 100%. They are working for APC. What we are doing is we are making our platform available. Come on board, come on board. You will see the outcome by the next election. You will see the outcome by the next election. What happened on Tuesday is just a tip of the iceberg of many more to come. What we did on Tuesday actually was to test the microphone. We are testing the microphone. We have tested from Ethio Federal. We can see that the political sound is loud and clear. We are going to move to other federal constituencies to also test the microphone there in preparation for 2027. We are not laughing. We are not joking. We said it before that the result that brought the present administration in Delta State had wig on, and that was why we went to the tribunal. We asked the tribunal to remove the wig. Let us see the true votes. But unfortunately, the tribunal did not remove it for us. But we believe that in 2027 we will not give opportunity to PDP to parade any result that we have wig on. The results will be clear, and of course, will be clear for the world to see.
Well, it seems like everyone is now moving to the APC. I mean, just like you said, while you were testing the microphone just a few days ago, we also saw Eriateke Borisweno, who also moved, and we heard that there were thousands of persons who also joined in that movement. Can you call this movement a mass exodus? Does it mean that everyone in Delta State will eventually be a convert to the APC, and there will be no single PDP in the future?
It is not possible for everybody in a state to belong to a political party. But first, let us look at the history of the political party. We are all products of a leader, a political leader in 1999. We started the journey with him. But the house he built and left in custody of certain persons, they have destroyed. And because the house is destroyed, some of us have gone to other platforms. But what we are doing today, we are trying to regroup. We are trying to call everybody back together. We are trying to rebuild the house. And we can see that the umbrella in Delta State, which is the PDP, is completely torn. What you have there is just the handle of the umbrella. And of course, the handle of the umbrella cannot protect you, cannot cover you. So it's just proper that we move to another platform, another party where everything is in place, that has shown leadership, that has been consistent, that is stable, so that we can regroup for the next election and make sure that by the time we go to the polls, we are getting the desired outcome of it. So it is not possible for everybody to move, but what I'm saying to you is that by the time we finish, people that will be left will be just a handful that cannot make any impact. Like I said a few minutes ago, we have tested the microphone in Ethio Federal. We are going to test the microphone in other federal constituencies, and you will see the tsunami. Don't forget that at the moment we have 2 senators out of 3 who won elections on the platform of APC. We have 7 members of the House of Assembly. The opposition has not had it this good before. It has never happened. It has never happened. It is the first time that we're having that number. We have members of the House of Reps. Today, the governor of Delta State is from Delta Central Senatorial District. But in Delta Central Senatorial District, the senator is APC. All the members of the House of Reps in Delta Central are opposition. There's no one for PDP. That is to underscore what I said earlier, that the vote, the result that brought in the administration of Delta State had wig on. And that was why we went to the tribunal, seeking the tribunal to remove the wig. So the truth of the matter is that Delta is a low-hanging fruit. It is ripe for consumption and will be consumed in 2027.
Well, there are calls, and the people are saying that for those who are leaving the PDP now and moving to the APC, they have also contributed to the PDP's demise or ongoing demise. We can't say it is dead completely, but it is, like you've rightly said, it's moving to that level. And some have also indicated that that's where PDP is going to. But don't you think that as members of that party, staying and fighting for what you believe in and getting it right could have, in a way, revived the party and also help it to be a very strong competitor?
Yes, I quite agree with you on that, but let me give you a simple analogy. There are situations where a vehicle is broken down. You take the vehicle to maybe your mechanic to fix, and the mechanic says this is beyond repair. What the mechanic is telling you in essence is, it is cheaper for you to get another one than to begin to dissipate energy and resources on trying to fix the broken down one. The situation in Delta State PDP, I can tell you FOC, free of charge, is beyond repair. So there is no need going to dissipate energy. By the way, which PDP? Don't forget that it is the national that sends names of candidates to INEC for elections. It is not the state. I'm sure as a journalist, you are aware of the fighting that is going on at the national. Does it look like anything that will end soon? It doesn't look like that. So if the head is rotting, what happens to the body? So if there's so much infighting at the national, what do you think is going to happen or is happening at the state level?
But why didn't you form your own party? This is another conversation. People have said maybe if members of the PDP had come out, those who do not like what is happening at the top came out and formed a party that will end up to be stronger, and then it can now be a strong opposition to the current party.
Yes, well, if you look at the political indices and terrain, Delta is our primary constituency. We will not be going to form a political party because we want to salvage Delta when there's already an available and national platform. We do not want to be like, I don't want to mention their name, the party that is only in Anambra State, where you have a party, just one state. Every election, just one state. Every election, just one. We do not want to be like that. We want to be able to have a connect with the national. We want to be able to have a connect with the center. Like Right Honorable Riatake Boris, when you mentioned earlier, she's already a national player. She's already a national player. She's in the National Assembly. She's the convener of One Agenda in the National Assembly. And you know One Agenda is the platform of members of the House of Reps that are fully in support of Mr. President and the policies of this administration. And the membership cuts across all political parties and across all geopolitical zones. So having gone that far politically, why do you now bring her back and want to, hold her hostage with a small party, a regional party? It doesn't work like that. We are talking about national politics here. Nigeria is a federation. And you know that the resources that are used or that are spent in the states, they come from the national, they cascade from the national. So we must have a platform that has direct link, that has direct connect with the national, while we are facing the reality on ground in Delta to see to it that we salvage our state. Like I said, Delta is in disarray at the moment. They're already panicking. We just tested one microphone in one federal constituency, and everybody is running helter-skelter. By the time we test the second and third microphones in some of the other federal constituencies, you will see we will always invite New Central to come and cover our activities, come and see what we are doing. We are not a violent party. We are not forcing anybody. You see, it's even very important to notice that we are not the ruling party in the state, yet everybody is coming to us. Ideally, there's a popular saying that the shouting side is the winning side. But in Delta, those who claim to have won are the quiet side, while we that are not in government, we are the shouting side, and everybody is running to us.
Let's look at the law, finally. I mean, as we move to end this conversation, leaving a political party and moving to another one, many have said that, I mean, if you look at the law, if there's an issue in the party, but again, PDP, even though they have issues at the top, it seems to be a bit coordinated down there. Do you think you would have to face with, you have to grapple with any law cases or situations now that every member is trying to defect or moving?
You said something about PDP being coordinated down there. Are you talking about Delta State?
Not Delta State. I mean, in some other states, you do have members of the PDP who are still remaining in PDP as well, who have not left.
Let me tell you, the people who are holding on to what is happening in PDP are the scavengers who actually feed the parasites who are feeding on PDP. And most of the quietness you think you are seeing in PDP across some other states is just make-believe quietness. In every state, there is division, there is crisis. You know of River State, of course, that's the popular one. Even in Delta, there are aggrieved PDP members who do not agree with the recent congresses that they did. And as I speak to you, they are already on the verge of putting together a parallel ESCO in Delta because they do not agree with what has happened. The same thing is happening in Edo State. The same thing is happening in our neighboring Bayelsa and many others. So the truth of the matter is that PDP today is just on paper. It is just on paper. And the scavengers and the parasites who are feeding fat on PDP are the ones using PDP as a name to try to continue to sustain themselves economically. Otherwise, there is no PDP.
I wouldn't do justice to this question if I don't ask, since you've touched on a former political party, because it's now your former political party,
yes.
Since you've moved to a new political party now, would you also say that the challenges your former party, PDP, is facing has to also do with the FCT minister? And do you agree that his impact has equally affected some of its members to equally move to the APC, why he remains there? in the PDP?
Well,
Regardless of, I'm not talking national, I'm talking about states and so on.
well, the truth of the matter is that my candid view is that the crisis in PDP was self-inflicted. It was self-inflicted. Part of the reason why I personally left PDP in 2022 was because I also do not agree that for the 2023 elections, the presidential candidate should come from the North. I do not agree. It was obvious, it was clear to even the blind to see that it was the turn of the South. In 2018, we all rallied around Atiku Abubakar during the primaries in Port Harcourt, and he got the ticket. And was our candidate for the 2019 election, then in PDP, when I was in Egypt. Then in 2023, it was clear that since Buhari was leaving, Buhari from the North, it's just proper that somebody from the South should be our candidate. But because Alhaji Atiku Abubakar has made himself a perpetual contestant, maybe running for president is part of his business undertakings, so every 4 years he must run for president. He insisted, connived with the then governor of Delta State and a few others, lobbied the National Working Committee of the party and some leaders, and they threw the gates open. You would remember that, of course, we're not the only ones that left the PDP. Even Mr. Peter Obi left the PDP. Then they threw the gate open so that Mr. Atiku Abubakar can clinch the ticket and run again. And of course, that was the beginning of the end. The crisis inflicted on the party as a result of that decision has not ended. It's still burning. And some people, by their utterances and actions, are even putting more petrol in the fire to continue to burn. They don't seem like people who want the fighting or the crisis of the party to end. They don't seem like people who want it to end. That's why I told you that some of these guys are scavengers and parasites who are feeding fat on the party.
All right.
They want the crisis to continue.
Well, anyway, this conversation, I think, would need to continue looking at the fact that there's a lot to talk about, but you've moved away from Egypt, like you call the PDP now, alongside many others that we've seen in the news bulletin of recent. We want to thank you so much for being here. We look forward to have you again some other time, and also maybe have a key member of the PDP also join us, and let's see what the conversation would look like.
I'm always available.
I hope you'll be available too.
I'm always available. We've had the opportunities to pontificate our ideas at different platforms.
Okay.
We have met severally on Arise. We have met on Channels TV. So if you make your platform available, I'm available.
No problem.
Give me early notice and I'll be here.
Thank you so much, Honorable Efe Ofobruku, for joining us and having this conversation.